Hey, what's up, my construction entrepreneurs? Good to see you guys. It's Sunday night, pretty late, almost 11. Um, what I want to talk to you guys about is not finding labor when you need the help, right? We already know it's a shortage on finding good help. Finding good help has always been a problem. But finding good laborers, is a real big problem right now, especially when you land jobs and you land work, especially if you, even now, even if you're union, I was going to say, it's a lot better if you're union, but even if you're union right now, you're scraping the bottom of the barrel on being union as well, because one of my partnerships, we're union, and there's times where we can't even get anyone out to the job site, and then sometimes some of the people that we do have show up to a job site. There's been times when they don't show up, and when they do show up, you know, um, you know, one out of every four just don't want to work, and then it gets worse as the days go on. But um, I think finding labors or having options to find labors will make it easier, right? And then once you get them there, then you can kind of work them and try to get things done. But where do you find that labor at? Where do you find, what are your resources to find labor? So one, if you're union, of course, you just call a hall, place an order in, and you get help out there. Nowadays you want to definitely call at least, 5 days, minimum 3 days in advance to get someone out, because they're scraping the bottom of the barrel too, depending on what trade that you're in. Um, and um, um, and then next, if you're non-union, like a lot of us out there are non-union, I have partnerships that are non-union as well. If you're non-union, then you go to labor ready. Oh, which is not labor ready anymore, right? They're people ready. So you sign up with an account with people ready, and they will send out tradesmen to you, right? Now, those tradesmen that they send out to you, the laborers are just plain laborers. Some of them are no experience in construction at all. You have to realize that and come to that fact. And then a lot of the tradesmen where you get qualified people, a lot of times they're not really qualified. They're literally laborers that have added on different trades to get more work. Like I had a painter come on, he really wasn't a painter. Didn't even have any paintbrushes. Had a guy come on and said he can do a door. He can install a door, 3-point knockdown door, commercial door, and he actually couldn't do that. He barely could hang some corner beat, on on some drywall. Barely could hang some corner beat. He was doing it, but he wasn't. You could tell that wasn't what he normally does. But he was hired on to do that. So you have to deal with that too. And then you have to negotiate your rate with people ready. Don't forget that. Don't just allow them to tell you, hey, this is the rate here. You tell them, hey, that amount is not within my budget, right? Or that amount is not within the amount I bid it on. And you need to tell them where they need to be at. And I went through that when I first set up my account with People Ready. I had to tell them, hey, this is where the number needs to be. You can't make that number happen, then we don't have no deal. I won't be bringing on anyone that you have to my job site. So the skill level needs to be here, and the laborers need to be here, and that's it. And that's what I told them, and that's what you stick with. So make sure you're clear about where your numbers need to be at, and then that's where their numbers need to be at, probably lower than that. Or make sure you give them the take-home rate number, right? And not your loaded rate number. Give them the take-home rate number for that particular tradesman that you have in your estimate. Okay. Another one is to go with is Tradesman International. Tradesman International, they seem like they're pretty good. I haven't had any luck with them. When I first signed up with them, of course they want everything, right? They want they want to be endorsed, they want your insurance and everything. I sent them over everything, right? Endorsed them with my workers' comp, with my general, my auto. Just sent them over everything, ready to go. The guy told me he had someone. He didn't. I wanted a cement finisher for some exterior work I was doing, and I wanted a level 5 finisher for some mudding that we had to do inside the store. And the guy wound up flaking on me. He wound up flaking on me. Flaked on me twice, actually. And I just pulled back and went through some other resources. But I had another gentleman that called me that took over for that other gentleman that flaked on me twice. And he came anew and he was like, "Hey, Tyrone, I'll make sure I get you what you need." Then I had to resend my application because it was blurry from when I sent it over. What was kind of weird because the guy said I was already approved anyway. So this new guy says, "Hey, Tyrone, you need me one." So about maybe 3 days later, I called him back and said, "Hey, man, it's your time to shine." I forget what I needed, but it seemed like he was going to come through, and at the end, didn't make it. So try Tradesman International. Was no luck to me. I didn't lose my shirt or nothing like that. It was, no harm, no foul. I mean, it didn't really upset me that they flaked on me. I didn't really count on them. I was hoping they were going to come through, and I had some other avenues already set in place, so I didn't really lose a whole lot. But try Tradesman International. I hear that they're everywhere in California. Seems like they're up and down the coast. Okay, so try Tradesman International. Next one, the infamous Craigslist. So with getting laborers from Craigslist, I have a rule with this, okay? Because there's times where with one of my partnerships, we have to go through Craigslist, People Ready, and because we're just non-union, so we have to figure out these other resources to use to get people out on the job sites when we need more than just our 4 guys that we normally have, right? So Craigslist. If I need 2 guys, I'll make sure I schedule 8 guys to show up. Okay. If I need 2 guys, I'll make sure I have 8 guys that's scheduled to show up. Okay. Now be straightforward with these, with whomever that calls. Okay. Be straightforward with them. Let them know what you got going on. Let them know what the pay rate is. Let them know how long the job is going for. Just be honest, because one day that was me on Craigslist looking for work. Okay. So I didn't like when people wasn't honest with me. You wouldn't like it either. So just be honest, when you post your ad. Now I usually post my ad. I'll post a dollar amount. I post a duration. I post a time, everything. And I usually get quick responses, and I just cut through a lot of the bull cracking. Okay. Now, if you want to put some kind of vague ad out there and not be clear on a whole lot of things, you're going to get an even worse amount of people, right? You're not going to get some competent people that's going to call you. If you're plugging away on Craigslist, you're putting the ad out there, list the amounts you're going to have them for, list them where the job, a general area of the city that the job is in, if you want to say the location. Let them know what the rate is straight up. Let them know how long the job is, whether it's 1 day, 4 hours, half a day, 3 days, whatever it is. Just let them know what it is, and be straightforward with all the details. Cover a lot of it. Now, a lot of the individuals that's going to call are not even going to read through that. They're just going to call you. Whether they have the experience or not, they're going to call you, and you're going to get that. But you're going to get some people that is going to read the ad and is highly qualified. Okay, there's just a lot of individuals on Craigslist looking for work that wants to be contractors, that are just love the freedom of working and quitting whenever they want to quit. Whether they go out and drink or whatever they're doing. There's just a lot of talented people on Craigslist that go for piecework. Okay. It's a lot. I don't know why they love doing that type of work, but that's what they do. So, but going on Craigslist, if I need to, I have 8 guys show up. Now, how many show up? Usually 4, or usually just the 2 show up. Okay. So that's my rule of thumb for Craigslist. Another deal is just always asking people that work for you, do they have anyone else? Okay. And everyone knows that the deal nowadays is, especially in California, pay when they finish, right? Pay when they finish. Okay. Now, some trades is kind of hard to do, is some, especially commercial jobs. With me, there's very rarely what I pay right after someone finishes. Usually my jobs last a little bit longer, so I will put you on payroll. And if you need an advance, then I'll go ahead and do an advance. I don't try to act all special or nothing like that. We run payroll in-house, so we really control it from QuickBooks. And I think we just bought on another software. I forget what the name of it is. So we run it in-house. So it's not the only reason why we don't pay in right after is because we haven't got paid, and we're not in the business of funding projects. Okay, that's the deal with contracting. You don't pay people in advance because you're not paying for that job. You're not funding that job. That's not a job for you to fund. You get paid when paid, and that's just the way it works. And you will find that out once you put on your big boy pants and you get into the real world of contracting. On the residential side, totally different lifestyle, right? That's different. You get paid when you're done, and you get paid differently, right? However you schedule that out. On the other side of things, you get paid once as I'm talking about as an employee, as a peacetime worker. You get paid, accordingly on paydays. So if I pay every week, then you got a week in the hole, and then you get paid that following week. Now, if I'm not going to keep you busy, then of course you're paid out soon after I lay you off or I fire you. If I fire you, you get paid right away. If I lay you off, you get paid usually right away too. But I think I have up to 72 hours to pay you. If you quit, things like that, I usually pay right away. Usually I try not to hold up pay. That's the whole biggest thing with having people on board. So finding laborers by talking to other people that work for you or people that currently work for you. Another resource you can find laborers with is other contractors. Anytime you link up with contractors, you want to make sure you take their info down. You may need their help down the road. Some of the small contractors, they actually work. Some of the small contractors work themselves, the jobs. They don't have any a whole lot of employees. They don't really have any employees. They work the jobs themselves. So you may have contractors that actually come and work for you, and then you got to negotiate that rate. But talk to contractors about people that they know or employees that they have that may not have worked for that can come and work for you. Now, anytime you're dealing with that, a lot of times you deal with. I had employees. I used some tapers and drywall hangers from another drywall contractor, and he gave me their rate, but he left the door open for me to discuss what I'm going to pay them to them. Well, anytime that happens, that individual tries to shoot for a higher rate, which they should. Okay. I don't mind someone shooting for a higher rate, but if that rate is not within, what I bid for that project, then it doesn't work. Now, depending on how much I need that individual, I'll bite into some of that, that labor burden, that overhead, that profit that I need to bite into to pay that individual, especially if it's a good individual, then I'll just roll with it and go with it. Okay. And another resource is this, is always keeping lookout for laborers. Okay, a lot of times we be out and about, whether if we're at the store, whether if we're at the mall, walking down the street, or on your early morning walks, as I'm doing. You may run into someone that's in the construction industry. You guys may spark up a conversation. Make sure you write down that guy's name, that girl's name, number, city. And anytime I put anyone's name in my phone, my wife tells me that everyone is a utility to me. I don't believe that term, but that's what she says. Anytime I put someone's name into my phone, I usually put their name and where I met them at and what they want, right? And usually I get things out the way early. If I have someone that I met and that wants to work for me, and they say, hey man, you got some work, I'll do this, I'll do that, I get their pay rate right on the spot. Hey man, how much do you want to get paid? Now, that me asking that question is a whole nother video, but I'll touch on that a little bit. Anytime I deal with someone and I'm bringing them on, I always ask them, what do they want to get paid? What is your pay rate? And a lot of times people come back to me and say, hey, Tyrone, what are you paying for this job? And I always feel that anytime that I start off with the pay rate, it either one, depending on how desperate they are, they accept a lower rate, and then they're underperform when they come if they feel they're underpaid. So, or two, they may not even be worth the high rate that I'm shooting out. So I usually, get what you feel that your value, and some people try to play that role like, oh, I don't know, it depends on what type of work it is. No, everyone has a daily amount that they want to make. That's it. Just share that daily amount that you want to make. And you want to make that daily amount, whether you're hanging windows or painting walls, whether you're doing concrete work or hanging a fence, you want to make that daily rate. Now, if you're doing something that you're not used to doing, then you still want to try to make that daily rate no matter what, right? So that's what I'm clear on. Hey, what rate do you want to get paid? Okay, what is your daily rate? If a person is just really unclear, and only really people, once I explain, my angle in that, the only people that's really unclear on it is the folks that don't have a whole lot of experience in the construction industry and are looking to stay busy or looking to jump into the construction industry from a warehouse job or a tech job or some other type of job or industry that they're trying to merge into the construction industry, and they just don't know where that gauge is at. And then I'll just draw out a number, what I normally pay my laborers, okay? And we'll talk about rates on another video and what I usually pay individuals and how I determine that and things like that. But those are some resources. Hopefully you gained a lot from this. I appreciate all the calls that I get. I'm definitely going to start recording some of those calls so you guys can hear what's going on, the response I'm giving, and then may even start some type of question and answer where I can take some questions, answer them, kind of give you some feedback in real time. I'll be looking at that. Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. If you would like some type of, a question and answer session where I can get on and just, give it to you raw and lay it out to you. Some of my followers, some of my subscribers have actually talked to me and called me. Some of you, on some of these videos, my cell phone number is on there, which is okay. And there's most of these videos, my office number is on there. So some of you, if either you call in my cell phone or you call the office, and if you call my cell phone, you'll definitely get me. If you call my office, the only time you'll get me is either early in the morning when the lines have been transferred to my cell phone, or later at night when the lines have been transferred to my phone. And I'm up all times of the day. So, anyone that's called me, just call me no matter what your time zone is. Just give me a ring. If I don't answer, and that means I'm not available to answer. And that's it. You just give it a shot. Don't worry about that, and just give it a shot. That's it. So let me know what you feel about that. Let me know what you think about this, doing this video on being resourceful for labor help, whether it's tradesmen or just regular laborers. I'll let you go. See you on the next one. Remember, hustle hard, then hustle harder. All right, my construction entrepreneurs. Check you later.